Hi guys, welcome to Dan's Kitchen. Today I'm a little bit happy because I'm going to make some Spanakopita. One of my clients had me make it and it was so easy and it tasted delicious. So I thought I'd share the love and put it up on YouTube, because every time I make something for one of my clients, and I put a little picture on Facebook, people ask me for the recipe. So guys, I'm just going to go through the steps because people want a little bit more of the steps action. So I'm just going to get a tray. I'm going to spray the bottom of it. And we're going to actually make two today. We're going to make, one is going to be gluten-free and one is going to be of normal pastry. So I went to the shop, and my local veggie shop, and I've got some feta cheese and some ricotta. I'm going to use that. I've also got some baked ricotta, also with the Olympus brand, and we're going to crumble that up through it because I want to get a lot of textures going on, so it's going to really make it really flavoursome and make it all pop. So now I've sprayed both my trays. I've got a gluten-free pastry that I just bought from the supermarket, so we're just going to put that in first before we do the other one. So we've got that all nice and clean. So I'm just going to lay that in the bottom. So it comes already rolled out. So we're just going to make a smaller one of the gluten-free. Let me just pop that down for you. And then we're going to make a tray of the normal one. So I've just lined it down like that. I'll just pop that tray over there. So once I make my mix, I'll be good to go. Now I'll just pop that over there. Then guys, we've got our normal puff pastry here, and we're just going to use this one over here. So we're just going to line this one down as well. So I'm just going to put a sheet down there and another sheet on top. Then we're going to make the filling and we'll get ourselves on fire. Alrighty, so we're just going to peel those covers off there, and then you'll be able to see what's going on, and I'll lay them out the front for you. Now what I like to do is actually cook them a little bit in the oven just to get the rising going on. So all I've done is lined it like that, and we're just going to pop it in the oven. Same with the gluten-free one. So let's get it in the oven. And we're actually cooking a tomahawk as well, so you'll be able to see that as well. Okay guys, so we've got our pastry bottoms in the oven. Now we're going to get our mix together. So I've just got some silver beet here. Now I've just given this a good old wash under the tap. These days I tend to wash everything. Let me put that down there for you so that you can see what I've got going on here today. So I've ripped my silver beet off, see there, and I've just given a little wash. So all I do is take the stalks out. I never ever put the stalks in when I'm using the silver beet. I always take all those leaves off. If you don't want to use your hands, you can get a little paring knife and just slice it off like that, but just be super careful that you don't cut yourself. And then once we've done all that, we're just going to give it a bit of a chop, and then we're going to add some spinach to that. So I've got some baby spinach here as well. So I'll just give that a little rough chop, and I've laid out all the ingredients for you so you can see what I've got going on. So we're just going to bring this down to the board, give it a little chop, and then we've got some shallots there as well, and we're going to add that in. So I've got some lovely shallots growing in the garden. Now the roots, every time I use shallots, I just put the roots in water and then I take it out of the garden. So I've always got shallots on tap, guys. So just get the rest of that out of there, and we'll just get rid of that little bit of water, and we'll just pop that in there. So we've got all our silver beet going on in there, and I've got some baby spinach here. I'm going to pop that in there as well, and then we'll just cut up the rest of this silver beet, and then we're going to cut up some onions. We're going to heat our pan, and then we're going to fry up some onions, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. And I never realised it was so easy to make it. So you too can do this at home. Just need to, the big trick I think when you're cooking is to have all your ingredients. There's nothing worse when you're going to cook something and you go, oh, you know what, I've got to go to the shop. So guys, if you can lay all your ingredients out on the table before you start cooking, that's going to make your heart sing, and it's going to make it super easy to get cooking. So we'll just chop the rest of that up, and then we're going to chop up some onions, and we'll be able to move on over to the stove. So So there we go. That's all our silver beet in there. We've got our spinach, and we'll just cut up a few more shallots. So these are ones from my garden. So I love having them in there. So I'll just cut that down, and we'll give that a little bit of a chop. So we're going to have so many beautiful flavors. It's going to be really delicious. Now, you can put garlic in it if you want. So it's totally up to you how many extra flavors you want to put in your spanakopita. So you just make it your own, guys. So we've got the shallots going in there. Then we're going to turn our pan on to get it super hot. So let me just get that on for you. Let's see. Okay. Fire's going. We're good. Now we're just going to chop up an onion to go in that as well. Just wipe that down a little bit. It's beautiful. Okay, so we'll get the onions chopped up. I'm also going to put a little bit of dill in there as well, because that's going to give it a really lovely flavour. So here we go. That's the onions. A little bit more onion action. And I'll just finely dice it as well. Now, I can hear my pan is starting to heat up, so I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Now, if you wanted to put in some garlic, now would be a good time to get that in there, guys. So we've got our onions in there. I'm going to put some salt and pepper. I love cooking with beautiful sea salt flakes, but you use whatever salt you like, and a little bit of pepper in there. Then I've got my 3 different cheeses. I'm going to use the ricotta and the feta. So I've got the Olympus feta and the Olympus ricotta. I'm also going to put in the baked feta because it's just going to give it another texture. I also really like using this on a platter, and what I tend to do is just heat it up a little bit in the oven first, and then it's really lovely to go on a cracker. Okay guys, let's see how that pan's going. Yeah, so what I generally do is just put my hand over the top of the fry pan, and you can hear that little sizzle. So let's see how we're going. You can hear that little sizzle. We're just going to let it go a little bit longer. Okay, so I'll just grab this. We'll pop this rest of this onion in here for you. And having all our prep done, it just makes it so much easier to have your little cook-off, guys. Okay, these onions are done. We'll just let that cook a little bit. So that's just heating up nicely. And then all I'm going to do is crumble these up. You can cut them up if you want, but I just like to crumble it up so it gives it that rustic earth look. Okay, so that's nicely crumbled up. Then we've got our baked ricotta. Once again, oh, that looks delicious. I'd like to just eat some of that. Just crumble up. So many uses you can do with these beautiful products. And it's just having a play around, guys. So when you go to your supermarket or your veggie shop, if there's something that sings to you, just buy it and have a little crack. And you'll be very surprised what beautiful flavours you can make. Now, guys, I've got 4 eggs here. And we're just going to get those onions in. Put the salt and pepper in there. Hear that sizzle? That's what I'm loving. Okay, so we'll get these eggs going on. Just going to crack that in there. So I've got 4 eggs. All I'm going to do is beat them because these are going to go in right at the very last minute. And I just want to make sure that I don't scramble the eggs. So I'm going to cook them. And if you get a little bit of eggshell in there, just drag it out with your fingers. I think I'm good. Yes, no, that's not eggshell. That's a bit of the egg. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a little whisk around just so it's all combined nicely. So when I add it in at the very last minute, it's going to be like a frittata, I guess, just to combine and set it all. So that's all crumbled up nicely. I've got my feta, my ricotta, my parmesan cheese, and you can add a little bit more salt and pepper there. Also, what I also love putting in my spanakopita is a little bit of dill. So guys, it's up to you. You can take the stalks out or leave them in, whatever you like. But at the moment, guys, I'm washing everything really well, just because of the climate we're in. I don't take anything for granted. And also, if there's any little bits of dirt in there, you don't want to get that in your cooking because it's going to get in your teeth and somebody's going to complain, and want to keep everyone happy, guys. So you can put in a little bit or a lot, but I've got quite a lot of spinach, so I think I might add all that in. So guys, if you want to come on over, have a look at the pan here. See, we've got our lovely onions there, frying off nicely. And I'm thinking I might put in a little bit of nutmeg. So I've got my little fresh bit of nutmeg here, and I'm just going to give a little zesty of that. Get that going on, because spinach, nutmeg, onions, salt, pepper, it's a marriage made in heaven, guys. Right then. Okay, so let's get the rest of this dill cut up, and then we're going to put it in the fry pan. And this is super easy. So our bases will be browned. We're going to have our mixture ready. Then we're going to pop this on top, pop another piece of pastry on top of that, and we're going to bake it in the oven. Then we just let it set, and it's really lovely to have it for lunches or an evening meal, or perhaps a picnic snack, or maybe you're going to a barbecue. That would be good as well. Okay, we'll just get all those stalks out of there, and we'll be good to cut up. Okay, let me check on my onions. Oh yes, they're looking good, guys. So if you try and caramelize your onions, you'll get a little bit more flavour out of them. And we'll just chop up this dill and get that in with the mix. So all these flavours, it's going to be sensational. Okay, I'm liking this. So we might get this dill in now. Pop that in there. Get that sizzle going on, and then we're going to bring our beautiful mix. So we've got our silver beet, we've got our spinach, we've got shallots going on in there, and we're just going to let it wilt down. Just grab some of my tongs here, have a little look, see what's going on in the oven. Oh yes, it's still looking good. Okay, so we're going to give this a little mix around. So if you can see in there, we're just caramelizing that onion, and I'm going to start dropping in my spinach. So we're just going to start wilting it. So a little bit at a time, and then we'll just toss it around, and that's going to all wilt down. It's starting to smell really good. So there's shallots and dill, salt and pepper. We'll give it a little bit more nutmeg, I think, in there. So guys, you can mix up these flavours. It's whatever your family likes. So some people don't like nutmeg, some people don't like the salt and pepper, some people don't like garlic. So you just make it your own, and so that your family's really happy with you. So let's just give that. See, that's wilting down nicely. So again, Mr. Cameraman, it is wilting down beautifully. So we're shooting a load of videos today, guys, and one of them is the tomahawk. So after this video, we're going out in the back deck and we're going to seal up the tomahawk. So I think the cameraman and I are going to have some yummy lunch. Alrighty, let's just get a bit more celery and spinach in there. If you wanted to, you could actually put in some bacon or prosciutto or something like that. If you wanted to get that meat content in there, that's just mixing it up. I can't help myself whenever I read a recipe. I think, you know what, I'm going to add a little bit extra. So it's entirely up to you guys. Have a little play around with your flavours, because sometimes you can make it easier or make somebody in your family like it a little bit more. So this is wilting down nicely. So once this is all wilted down, we're going to add the ricotta, we're going to add the feta, we're going to add the parmesan. We're going to adjust the seasoning with a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm going to combine all those flavours together, and at the very end, we're going to add in our mixed egg, and that's just going to bring it all together. Once we've got that mix made, our pastry will be cooked in the oven. We're going to bring it out, we're going to pop our mixture all on the top of that, press it down super hard. Then we're going to put our raw pastry on the top, press it down, line it out a little bit, pop it back in the oven. Once it's cooked, we just like it nice and brown, we're just going to let it set a little bit, and then all those flavours will come together. Alright, that spinach is nearly done. We're just going to get a little bit more in there, and we might start putting in all that other flavour. So I'm just going to put in the parmesan now, and that can start combining there, and we'll get the rest of our feta in there as well. So that will start melting down. Some of it will melt down and some of it's going to stay really solid. So just work with what is happening in the pan there. So I've just got that on low, guys. I'm not trying to rush it at all. I'm just letting it slowly do its thing. And as you can see, it's looking really gorgeous. And the aroma is quite delicious. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of butter in there if you wanted to make the flavours a little bit richer. But I think I'm quite happy with what we've got going on there today. Or you could even add in a few more cheeses. If you're wanting to clean out some empty little bits and bobs in your fridge, you could put in some mozzarella, or you've got some cheddar in the fridge. You can combine those flavours as well. Now, I'm just going to add the eggs to it, guys. So let's just get that in. Now, I've beaten the eggs a little bit, and then we're just going to fold that through. Okay. Now, we've got to move quickly here because we don't want it to scramble. We just want it to combine. If you're a little bit nervous, take it off the heat so it can just mix around. Have a look at that, Mr. Cameraman. It's looking really good. So I'm only going to make really thin ones because I wanted to make two just to show you that you can make it out of gluten-free and you can make it out of real pastry. Okay, so guys, I've got my gluten-free pastry here. I'm just going to pop a little bit on the top there. This gluten-free pastry, let me just turn that off. This gluten-free pastry is a little bit thin, so I'm just going to work with what I've got. So my husband says you get what you get and you don't get upset, right? So that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to put a little bit down the middle. It's just that I want to make the other one as well, so I'm being a little bit tight with the filling. But guys, if you want to do the whole thing on gluten-free, you can use all your mix, but I just want to be able to show you that you can do it on both. So we're just going to squish that down until it's nice and flat. See how creamy that's gone with all those beautiful cheeses that just melted through there? So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of gluten-free pastry on the top, and it's as easy as that, guys. Let's put another one over there. And this pastry's got a little bit of hole in it, and you know what? It doesn't matter. Let me just shimmy that over there for you so you can see a little bit better. Okay, put this one on the top. Just pop that over there for a little bit. And we've got this one here. And I just like to score it a little bit, just so when it's cooking, you're going to get those little triangular lines going through it. And then all I do is in between the triangles, the diamonds I should say, the diamonds in the Spanakopita, we're just going to prick the pastry a little bit, and it's going to allow it to rise. Alrighty, that's good to go. Now, if you wanted to, you could brush it with a little bit of egg, or you could just have it a la natural. I've got a little bit of egg left in there, so we'll just dribble that over there and just quickly wipe that over. Just because the gluten-free pastry, it's not as easy to work with as the normal one, okay? All right, so job done, guys. We're gonna pop it in the oven. If you wanted to put some seeds or dill or fennel on the top of it, please feel free to go. We're just gonna go a la natural. So let's get this guy in the oven. And we're going to get our normal one done. So guys, we've just popped that in the oven. The pastry is popped up there. Let me get that out of your way. And see how it's just popped up a little bit? I just do that because I want to make sure that my pastry is cooked beautifully on the bottom. So guys, don't forget when you are making that, make sure and spray it. Wait, sorry about that, guys. Hope that didn't hurt your ears. Okay, let's get this. This is a little bit heavy, this one, and I'm not so strong. It's my favourite pan, and I just love cooking with it. But it is just a little bit heavy for me. That's okay. Alrighty, how good does that look, guys? So let me get that gluten-free pastry out of there. And we're just going to level that out. Mr. Cameraman, can you smell that? It smells delicious. So, and we only need to cook it for like 20 minutes. It's basically just that egg is going to set. Right. And you can even give it little tap down just so it's a little bit solid. Okay, so we're just going to get a pastry, pop it over the top. Make sure and take off the plastic, guys. Nothing worse if you leave the plastic on, right? Okay, here we go. We've got another piece here. Now, if you want to, you can not waste and cut it exactly right, and then you can use that pastry up. So it's so easy, guys. There's nothing tricky about it. Some of the recipes, people tell me, oh, it's so hard, but guys, you've just got to break it down into baby steps. And I think the big trick is having all your ingredients in the house. So if you're going to do some cooking on the weekend, make sure during the week, stop at your supermarket and get all your bits and bobs together. Then you don't have to go out. I think that's a big trick. And having everything at your fingertips. Have your tunes going, so you've got a bit of music happening, and then you're going to be super happy. Okay, so we're just going to mark this through here. Once again, I'm just going the diamonds. Entirely up to you if you want to go seeds. I'm not going to brush this with egg, just so that you can see the difference. This is the normal puff pastry, and I've cheated here, guys. I've just bought it at the supermarket. Okay, so when it comes out, we're going to cut it in triangles, and it will be a lovely little snack. If you wanted to, you could put some salt crystals on the top. So there's no end to what you can do with that. So this is it, guys. We're going in the oven. Let's pop that in. And we'll see you when it comes out. Bye. I'm Jan Cranage, and this is my foodie story finishing for today. Thank you for joining us. We will continue to bring you more foodie action in more videos as you request them. Just a reminder that I'm open for business and taking bookings, specialising in telling foodie stories through my videos, food pictures, cooking demonstrations and workshop. I would love to tell your foodie story. If you want more information, call me on 0432 959 677 or email me at jan@cranitch, cranitch.com.au. Guys, I'd love to make your business shine. Call me today.